Let's be real, the world feels chaotic. It's like it's on fire with distractions, volatility, constant noise. So in the middle of all that, what would it actually mean to have a truly unshakable mind? I'm not just talking about coping. I'm talking about building an inner fortress, a mental stronghold so tough that nothing external can even scratch its walls. Today, we are breaking down the ancient blueprint for exactly that, a step-by-step protocol for forging an unshakable mind. First, though, let's get a clear diagnosis of the problem we're all up against.
Sound familiar? I mean, of course it does. We're living in an age where our internal state, our peace, our focus, our calm, is constantly being hijacked by everything happening outside of us. That ping from your phone, an urgent-sounding email, some crazy news headline, a random opinion from a total stranger. Each one of these things is yanking at the controls of our mind. We've basically been conditioned to be reactive by default.
This condition actually has a name, and we're calling it sovereignty surrender. It's the psychological state where you've basically handed over the keys to your own mind. You've surrendered control, and you're letting your inner world be dictated by the total chaos of the outer world. The whole point of this explainer is to show you exactly how to take that control back.
So here is our roadmap for reclaiming that control. First, we're going to look at the problem head-on, the modern mind's surrender. Then we'll get into the core Stoic principle that changes everything, the dichotomy of control. From there, we'll learn how to build the inner citadel, and you'll see how modern neuroscience actually proves this ancient wisdom is legit. Then we'll get our hands on the tactical, unshakable mind protocol. And finally, we'll talk about the ultimate prize, achieving internal sovereignty.
Okay, the entire Stoic system, this whole idea of an unshakable mind, is built on one brutally simple foundation. It's a tool that lets you completely reconfigure your mental operating system, your cognitive architecture. It's called the dichotomy of control. Now check this out. It's so simple, but it is a total game changer. The Stoics basically split the entire universe into two domains, two buckets. In the left column, you have the internal stuff, your opinions, your efforts, your intentions. The rule here? Absolute ownership. This is your kingdom, the only thing you truly command. And then in the right column, you've got everything else, the external, your reputation, your job, what other people do or think. The rule for this bucket? Strategic indifference and radical acceptance. See, most of our stress and anxiety comes from us trying to control the right column with the mindset of the left one. It just doesn't work. And you want to talk about the payoff? Listen to Epictetus. Here's a guy who was born a slave, and he probably understood freedom better than anyone. He realized that real power isn't about controlling the world outside of you, it's about controlling your response to it. The moment you pull your focus away from the uncontrollable stuff and put it squarely on what is in your control, you become psychologically invincible. Nobody can touch your will. Nobody can touch your judgment. They can't get to you.
Okay, so we have the blueprint, the dichotomy of control. Now, how do we actually start building? This brings us to the next phase, the construction of what the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius called the inner citadel. And this isn't just a nice metaphor. Think of it as a literal engineering project for your mind.
So what is it? Your inner citadel is your mind's command center. It's that core part of you, your reason, your faculty of judgment that can observe all the chaos of the world without getting stained or dyed by it. It's the place you can retreat to at any moment to find your footing, to find stability and clarity, no matter what is going on outside.
So how do we build it? Well, Marcus Aurelius gave us a three-part construction plan. First up is the discipline of perception. This is all about training yourself to see events for what they are, the bare facts, without all the emotional stories and subjective opinions we love to add on top. Second, the discipline of action. This means doing your part, acting with integrity for the good of others without being attached to the outcome. And third, the discipline of will. This is about accepting what you can't change and wanting what is, not what you wish was. These three things, they're the bricks and mortar of your fortress.
And here's where things get really cool. For thousands of years, this was all philosophy, right? It was just ideas. But today, neuroscience is actually showing us what the construction of that inner citadel looks like inside the human brain. We can now see the biological wiring of a Stoic mind.
And get this, Seneca, another one of the Stoic heavy hitters, he basically described modern neuroscience 2,000 years ago. He made this brilliant distinction between a mental impulse, that's that first flash of feeling you get, and anger, which is what happens when that impulse overleaps reason. He was literally describing the battle between our emotional brain and our rational brain.
And here's the wiring diagram. You've got your prefrontal cortex, the PFC. Think of this as the neurological equivalent of your inner citadel. It's the CEO, the thinking brain. Then you have the amygdala, which is your internal threat detector, constantly scanning and slapping emotional labels on everything. Now here's the kicker. In fMRI scans of resilient people, you see way more activity in the PFC. That PFC acts like a brake, physically calming down the amygdala's knee-jerk emotional reactions. You are literally strengthening the governor of your emotions.
And the reason this works, the reason this is even possible, is because of neuroplasticity. That's just the brain's incredible ability to rewire itself. See, every time you practice a Stoic exercise, every time you choose a rational response over a reactive one, you are physically strengthening the neural pathways between your thinking brain and your emotional brain. You're not just thinking differently, you are actively, physically rewiring your own mind to be more resilient by default.
So, that brings us to the tactical level. How do we actually do this? How can we speed up that rewiring process? Well, the Stoics developed a whole set of specific mental drills, a protocol really, designed to forge high-performance mental toughness.
The first tool in the kit is premeditatio malorum, or what we call negative visualization. Now, I know it sounds super grim, but it's actually a form of psychological inoculation. It's like a vaccine against future shock. By deliberately and calmly thinking about what could go wrong, losing your job, getting sick, dealing with difficult people, you strip those events of their power to surprise you. You've already run the simulation.
And this isn't some abstract idea. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, did this every single morning. He wasn't being a pessimist, he was being a realist. He was preparing his inner citadel for the battles he knew were coming. By anticipating these frustrations, he could meet them with patience and reason, instead of being blindsided by shock and anger. He was literally preloading his peace of mind for the day.
Now for the second tool, and honestly, this one might be the most powerful of them all. It's a concept called amor fati, which translates to a love of fate. And this goes way beyond just gritting your teeth and accepting things. This is the mindset that whatever happens, good or bad, is not just acceptable, but necessary, and even an opportunity. It's the fuel you need to move forward.
And this quote, this just says it all. For a mind that's trained in amor fati, there are no real obstacles. Every single roadblock becomes a chance to practice a different virtue. Maybe patience, maybe creativity, maybe courage. The thing that stood in your way becomes the way. You learn to take every external event, no matter how negative it seems, and transform it into fuel for your own growth.
So after all this work, the dichotomy of control, building the citadel, the mental training, what's the end game? What's the ultimate payoff? What does it feel like when this protocol is fully up and running? Well, it's a state of true internal sovereignty. It all boils down to this one powerful idea: interpretive independence. This is the freedom to decide what events mean. You know, society has a pre-packaged narrative for everything. Someone insults you, society says that's bad. But the sovereign mind says, an opportunity to practice patience. A project fails, society says that's a disaster. The sovereign mind says, nope, that's a lesson in resilience. You get to own the narrative of your own life.
Because when it all comes down to it, there's a simple, undeniable truth at the heart of this entire protocol. In a world you absolutely cannot control, your mind is the one and only fortress you can truly command. Your money, your job, your reputation, all of that can be taken away. But your ability to choose your response, to choose your attitude, to choose your inner state, that is yours and yours alone. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. The external world is always going to be volatile. It's always going to be unpredictable. And yeah, a lot of the time it's going to feel like it's on fire. But the real question, the only question that matters is, have you done the work? Have you started laying the foundations of your own inner citadel? Is your fortress built?